Good morning, everyone. It's Mary here. Hello, kids. Today we're going to continue our story about Jacob. Remember last week we had the story about Jacob and Esau? Jacob and Esau were brothers, and Jacob and Esau got mad at each other, and Esau wanted to hurt Jacob, and so Jacob's mother told him to go to her brother's house. His name was Laban. And so that's what Jacob did. He left to go to his uncle Laban's house. So that's where we left off. And that's where we're going to start today and see what happens to Jacob on his way to his uncle's house. So stay with us and we'll be back to do our story in just a minute. Okay, this morning our story continues with Jacob, and today we're going to talk about Jacob's ladder, and it can be found in Genesis chapter 27 through 29. In the Bible, God promised Jacob that he would give him the land he was sleeping on for his descendants. There would be many millions of them who would live all over the world and bless other nations. And this is how it happened. Isaac prayed and blessed his son Jacob before he went away to find a wife from his mother's family in Haran. As the sun was setting, Jacob looked around for somewhere to sleep. He made himself a pillow from a smooth stone that he found nearby, and he lay down on the ground to sleep. And that night, Jacob had a special dream. He saw God's angels going up and down a ladder between earth and heaven. God said, "I am the God of Abraham and Isaac. I will give you and your descendants this very land. They will live in every corner of the world and be a blessing, and I will always be with you." Jacob piled up the stones he had used as a pillow to remember the special place that he called Bethel. When he got to the country his mother was from, he lifted a heavy stone lid from a well and helped some shepherds give their sheep a drink. And they told him that Rachel and Leah were his cousins. Rachel took Jacob home to meet his uncle Laban, who was his mother's brother. "Come and work for me," said Laban. "I will work for you if I can marry Rachel," Jacob replied. "You can keep any animals that are not pure white when they are born and have patches on them," Laban said. So Jacob soon had many animals of his own. Okay, our story came from the Free Bible Images, and it was contributed by Jill Kemp and Richard Gunther. Okay, kids, that's our story for this morning, and I hope you enjoyed it and maybe you learned a little bit more about Jacob. So let's review a little bit. Let's go back all the way back to Abraham. Remember, God sent 3 angels to Abraham's tent, and he told Abraham and Sarah that they were going to have a baby, even though they were really old. And they named that baby Isaac. And then when Isaac grew up and got married, Isaac had twin boys. And remember, twin means 2. He had 2 boys, and he named them Jacob and Esau. And last week we talked about how Isaac blessed his son. He meant to bless Esau, but he ended up giving his blessings to Jacob. And this made Esau mad. So Esau was going to hurt Jacob. because he was mad at him. And uh, so Jacob's mom told him that he better leave. And so he went to his uncle's house. That was his mom's brother. His name was Laban. And on the way to, this is where we picked up today, he left, and on his way to his uncle's house, it came nighttime, and he got tired and laid down, or wanted to lay down and go to sleep. But he had to find a pillow, and it wasn't the kind of pillow that we sleep on every night. Do you remember what he used for a pillow? It wasn't soft. It was a stone, that's right. Or a rock, you could call it a rock. But he made sure it was smooth so it didn't have any hard lumps on it. But he put his head down on the stone and he went to sleep. And while he was sleeping, he had a dream about a ladder that went all the way from heaven down to earth. And there were angels that were going up and down this ladder in his dream. And God appeared to Jacob in his dream and told him that he was going to have lots and lots of kids, like he told Abraham. And so Jacob woke up the next morning and headed on his way to his uncle's house. And on the way there, he met some people at a well, and he met a girl named Rachel. And Rachel took him to Laban's house. Remember, Laban is Jacob's uncle? And his uncle wanted Jacob to go to work for him. And Jacob said, okay, I'll go to work for you if I can marry Rachel. And so I guess that was kind of a deal they made. So he does get married to Rachel. We'll find out more about that. But Laban told him that he could also have any of the sheep that were born that were not pure white. If they had any kind of markings on them at all, if they had a brown ear, or if they had spots on their leg, anything that Jacob could have, any of those sheep that were not pure white. And pretty soon Jacob had a whole bunch of them, a whole bunch of sheep. So that's where our story ended today. Next week we're going to pick up some more on Jacob, and it's going to be a really good story, so you need to tune in, because remember, Jacob's been hiding from Esau because Esau was mad. But next week Jacob and Esau meet each other again, and we will find out what happens when they meet. It's going to be a really good story. So tune in, and we'll learn more about Jacob and Esau next week. I hope you have a great week, and I miss you guys. I love you, and we will talk later. Bye-bye.